Hello everyone! I can finally make a video about the patches coming with the Dvar DLC, as in today's devlog, Eugen announced that the patch will come next week, the DLC and the patch, and I'm really looking forward to it. Compared to the last patch, where we focused on the higher end and the lower end divisions and getting them closer together, this here is a more generic patch across the board, but that doesn't by no means mean it doesn't touch a lot of stuff. It's just focused on things that are too strong or too weak across the board and changes that instead of focusing on divisions. As for divisions, we gotta wait till the next bigger conclusion of win rates and so on is through, and then we will adjust that with the next patch most likely. So we start in the armory with the unit changes, and the first unit to change is the Speerwagen 233, which will go from 35 to 40 points. As you can see in the alpha build I'm having right here, it hasn't changed yet, but it will change in the patch. And that's because this unit is quite the overperformer. Has good heat shell, has good AP shells, and is really fast. And has good optics, so all around really good unit that you always take, and in this way its power level will be a bit lower. But the Germans also get some buffs. For example, the Panzer Grenadier. The Panzer Grenadier and all the other units with MG42 will get 150 more rounds per MG42 they got. They will go from 850 shots per MG42 to 1000 shots, so that they can fire a slight bit longer with those. Like this one now can fire for 1 minute and for nearly 2 minutes instead of 1.5 minutes. So you will get a bit more DPS out of your Panzer Grenadiers before they run out of ammo. Ammo is still not super high, but I think it's the slight buff that is good for the MG42 units. You don't want to have them endlessly firing. Then another big change that is for all units out there is that Black Pioneers have the aim time on the TNT, or like all TNT units have the aim time on the TNT increased from 4 to 5 seconds, which means they can't throw it in the meantime when fighting a flamethrower squadron. So flamethrower squadrons in a 1v1 now should be able to deal with TNT units, because the TNT unit should never be able to throw the TNT, making it a bit more of a rock, paper, scissors setup than before, as TNT still is super deadly. And if you run with 2 TNT units in a flamethrower, you still can throw one and kill it, but it's not as strong as it was, and TNT really was omnipresent everywhere, so the change is good. And I really like the change, because TNT units were basically used everywhere, and now you can counter them a bit. Maybe run away faster or use flamethrowers against them. Then the next change for the Germans is the SDKFZ costs 5 points less, and that's pretty nice as well. So armored divisions might be a bit more viable. Well, these are the French ones, but if we go into the German ones, you can see that these are 5 points now as well. Like, a lot of the half-tracks are reduced in price, the standard half-tracks, as they only have a single MG, and for 10 points they were a bit overpriced. The SDKs at 250, 251, and especially the slow one, the one in 21st Panzer, the U304F is now 5 points as well. So this is a good change as well, in my eyes, for now, like giving your tank divisions a bit of a buff, which they might need, because currently tank divisions are, especially Panzer divisions, are a bit on the lower end of things. And the last change, which is also really important, because we haven't had this change in a while, we waited for this change in a while, is flak feelings 20mm get buffed. The exact number is not set yet, but they will go up for sure in a bit of damage, and they feel better. They feel much better, which is important, because a lot of divisions, as you can see, rely on flak feelings. You have them in quite a lot of divisions, especially also on vehicle mounts and so on. So you should have a good time with them this way. now they should be able to shoot down some planes in a somewhat cost-efficient manner again. Still, you don't get many per card, so if they get hit by artillery or so, they still die pretty quickly. But Black Feeling finally gets the buff it deserved. And with that, we will move now into the availability changes and so on that are made for divisions and units. So let's go in that. And the first one here is for the T-34-85 Recon that is a T-34-85 1943, which you get in 19th Tank Covey and in 10th Guards Tank Corps. Two divisions that are not really anywhere close to overperform. And they got an availability buff to 246, which should make this card interesting and a worthwhile pick, I would say. And it is a buff to two divisions that could use some love anyways, so it's a nice change. And yeah, small one, but nice one. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is that the AAC that also already got the availability buff last time now has a good veterancy pattern as well. The AAC Mark III. So 15 Scots is a slight bit better now as well. You kind of want to take them on one-star veterancy, I think. Either an A or an B face. Pretty good unit. Really liking it. And should be pretty nice now. And then there's the nerf to the most OP division at the moment, most likely. Converted Gunners US now have lower availability. They move from 12, 24, 32 to 9, 18, 27. The British ones still have the high availability, so you still will get quite a lot of units there. But the Converted Gunners themselves are not quite as big of a spam anymore. I mean, it's still good availability, but it's not as obnoxious as it was before, and should be maybe the small nerf that Task Force 45 needed to become a bit more balanced. And then the final change is that the Yak 9 card that in the Amia Curva is merged now, so it has good availability now, or decentish availability. In other decks you get even more of these, like I think it's 4, 3, 2 in others, but at least it's not one per card anymore, so you really have two fighters now in A without overspending on air cards. So you can now, for example, do this and have 4 fighters in A and B, which should allow you to keep the skies a bit cleaner, which is absolutely needed, as America over AA not that amazing. So should make this division, which is still not that great in the performance level, a slight bit better. But it's for sure now a division that is not at the complete bottom anymore. I mean, we have seen it being played, for example, by Luna in the finals of the charity tournament, and they performed pretty decent-ish there already. The small buff should make them a bit better once more. And then a change that I think also quite a lot of people have waited for. The Tiger now has better availability and is 5 points cheaper. So Tiger now comes at 369 instead of 246. So Tigers for sure are a lot more worthwhile now, as you first of all can take them at veterancy, and also the 5 points cheaper is also a nice buff. So Tigers might be more meta now as well. Buffing divisions, for example, like 14th, who also profits from the Flak Feeling buff quite a bit, and should make these divisions a lot more fun to play. Also, a lot of Panzer divisions will profit, and yeah, they kind of needed it as well. And then we can stay in this division, as they also have another unit that got an availability buff. They Stuk 3F went from 369 to 4.8 availability. So a nice change here as well. Should be a pretty decent unit as well now, as the availability pattern is also quite nice on the veterancy pattern. So maybe you can consider taking Stuk 3Fs now as well. The frontal armor of them obviously is a bit lackluster, but they are pretty cheap and they are long range snipers. So yeah, another nice buff here. And then the final change is that half tracks with 50 cults now have more ammo as well. They went up from 400 to 800 rounds, all but the mortar ones. And the big change in this patch for me, we got some income changes. Balanced went down 5 points in B phase, and Maverick went down 5 points in A phase. Which first doesn't look too big, right? But you gotta remember, Vanguard got nerfed by 10 points and went from meta to not meta. So hopefully with a 5-point change on these, we can hit the sweet spot where Vanguard and V for Victory and Juggernaut are somewhat more playable again. Flatline I don't think has a chance still, but Balanced and Maverick got nerfed a bit, as they were the meta divisions by far currently. Balanced both in 1v1 and team games, and Maverick especially in 1v1s. So nerfing them should make Vanguard and V for Victory a good bit stronger against them. Obviously, Maverick versus V for Victory, still not a great matchup, but this is really, in my eyes, the biggest change here, and it's a nice one. So yeah, in general, not the biggest patch, but one that touches a lot of stuff across the board, including the income changes. So should buff the German tank divisions quite a bit, and the TT change will also be noticeable for sure as well. And I'm looking forward to play with it quite a bit. And I also... Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. Because it was supposed to be in the last patch already. The DT, the tank DT is buffed as well. So all the Soviet tanks deal a bit more damage with the MG as well. So all tank divisions should be a bit stronger. And that's fine, because currently they're not really meta. And T-34s overall feel a bit lackluster anyway. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. And I will do another video about the new 2 divisions, because the last video about them was a long while ago. A couple of changes have been made to them. So look forward to the video about the 2 Dvar divisions. We'll do one video about both of them. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.